The Golden State Warriors fooled everyone. As you all know, there have been a lot of NBA analysts saying that the Golden State Warriors didn't make any major moves this offseason and they're probably not going to win another championship. But I think they are completely wrong and the Warriors just fooled everyone. So in today's video, we're going to be going through 5 things the Golden State Warriors must do in order to win another NBA championship next season and how they had the whole NBA fooled. So make sure you like this video and don't forget, if you want more Golden State Warriors content like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hitting that red button down below. Guys, 98% of you are still not subscribed, so it'd mean the world if you could subscribe to the channel. But let's get into the first thing the Golden State Warriors must do, and that is Stephen Curry having another MVP type season. So as you all know, Stephen Curry is the Golden State Warriors. He is honestly the backbone of this team, and as much as people say it, I honestly think he is the most important player in this organization. Steph Curry, as we all know, stands at 6'3", 185 pounds, and I think this upcoming season, in order for them to win another NBA championship, he really does need to go off and put up another MVP style campaign. Now, when it comes to what he did last season, I think he did a really great job. Obviously, there are other players that did, score a bit more, maybe rebound a bit more. That's why they got the MVP award. However, I think if Steph Curry's putting up some great numbers, it honestly puts Golden State Warriors in a good position. So, Steph Curry last season actually averaged 27.4 points. He actually also had 5.2 rebounds and 6.3 assists. So he put up some really good stats, and those are the types of stats I'm talking about when it comes to next season. He doesn't actually have to win the actual award. However, I do think, him putting up at least 25 plus points per game, 5 rebs at least, 5 assists per game will definitely help the Golden State Warriors go far, not only in the regular season, but also in the postseason as well. Now, when it came to playoff time, he was honestly killing it. So in playoffs, guys, he actually averaged 28 points, and he also had 5.2 rebounds and 5.9 assists. And we all know how that ended. It ended with him winning the finals MVP and winning the NBA championship. So Steph Curry, I think he is capable of doing it. I know people have said, he's one of the oldest players in the team, and he may be diminishing, but you got to remember, Stephen Curry's game isn't built off athleticism such as, Ja Morant or Derrick Rose. So his game is built just off skill and shooting, and I think that's why Stephen Curry can really keep playing at a high level for more years to come. I honestly think, even though he is standing at 6'3", he's able to get around defenders so well. He's still very quick. His ball handling is honestly insane, and he'll continue to do great things for this team. So the second thing the Golden State Warriors must do is sign a great free agent. Now, I have said this time and time again, but there is one spot left on the Golden State Warriors, because it does seem that Andre Iguodala will be actually joining the team, but not as a player, but in the coaching staff. So if that does happen, there is still one spot left, the 15th roster spot, and I think they can still get some great players on the line. Now, when it comes to free agency, I have made timeless videos on DeMarcus Cousins and why I think he's a perfect fit. Another player that could also be viable is also Carmelo Anthony, and there's also Montrezl Harrell. Now, I think DeMarcus Cousins probably fits the best due to the fact that he is a big man. I think they really do need that. They need an experienced big man to teach players such as Kevon Looney and also, James Wiseman how to actually play that center position, because we all know Draymond is more of a power forward positionless type player. So I think it is really important to get a big man. Maybe Montrezl Harrell is also a good pick. Carmelo, I think, would be good because, let's be real, guys, Carmelo is Carmelo at the end of the day. He's still a great player. He's still a great shooter, but I think the small forward positions is already locked up. So I think, if it isn't DeMarcus Cousins, I think getting a big man in general is honestly a very smart move for the Golden State Warriors, and it would honestly, really help them be more of a 15 deep team than any other roster out there. So, DeMarcus Cousins also out there, Montrezl Harrell. I heard LaMarcus Aldridge is also available, and there's also a couple of other players they could maybe trade for, or a sign and trade deal. So there is still a lot out there when it comes to that 15th roster spot. It's still not certain whether Andre Iguodala is going to be joining the coaching staff or if he's going to be staying, but it does look more likely that he is joining the coaching staff, which means that last position I think is very important, and I think they should really sign someone who can actually provide for the team rather than a young player or anything like that. They should get someone with veteran experience that can really teach the younger players, because as you all know, there are more younger players in this Golden State Warriors team than there were last year, with so many rookie signings, so many other signings, Dante DiVincenzo, Mac McClung, JaMychal Green, all that. So I think it would be great to get another experienced player. The third thing the Golden State Warriors must do is get Klay Thompson back to full force. Now, as you all know, I love Klay Thompson, and I think he is honestly such a great player. I think it's really overlooked because the fact that you have someone like Stephen Curry Curry in the team, but I think Klay could also be so effective if he was a superstar in another team as well. So I think getting Klay Thompson back to full force, 100% healthy, I think will be really, really important. Now, he did pretty well last season, I'm not going to lie. He actually averaged 20 points per game. He had 3.9 rebounds and 2.8 assists. So his stats have pretty much stayed roughly the same, so I think he is almost completely there. But where I think he isn't, 100% fully healthy is on defense. Obviously, with an ACL tear and also the other tears he experienced, I think, Klay Thompson's athleticism has diminished a little bit. It will take some time for him to get, back to where he was before. I heard, when it comes to ACL tears and all that, you can't actually get, your ACL back to 100%. However, if he's at least 90-95% there, I think it will still be great. He does stand at 6'6", 215 pounds, so he doesn't really require to be the quickest player out there or, the one that can jump the highest. Thankfully, his height really does help him, give him a height advantage over people, so that will honestly play a huge factor. But Klay Thompson, people don't remember, but he was honestly a lockdown defender, an absolute 3-and-D player, and I think he can continue to do that. Now, having someone like Andrew Wiggins as well now on the team who's a great defender, it does ease off a little bit of the pressure when it comes to Klay Thompson, but if Klay can get back to his defensive presence that he was before, honestly, Golden State Warriors are honestly going to win another NBA championship. I'm telling you that right now. I completely agree. Defense does win championships, and if you have Klay Thompson, Andrew Wiggins, Draymond Green, all these great defensive players in one team, and then you have one scorer, which is Steph Curry, that's all you really need. That is a recipe for success. So Klay Thompson, he put up some great stats, even in the playoffs when it came to finals time and all that. I think he did really, really well. It was actually averaging 19 points. He also had 2.3 assists and 3.9 rebounds. So very great stats all around. Now, where I do see his stats kind of diminishing is actually on his percentages. So his 3-point percentage actually went down to 35%. He was shooting the 3 ball at 45% before, guys. 45%. He was really, really consistent, and that's what made Klay Thompson so great. Even his field goal percentage has diminished just a little bit. At his peak Golden State Warriors days, Klay Thompson actually had a field goal percentage of 46%, and now it's sitting at around 39%. So obviously he can get those numbers up, but I think when it comes to stat wise, he's honestly already there. It's just efficiency that he really does need to work on to get him that next level up. But Klay Thompson being back 100% healthy, or being able to defend maybe the second best player on the team now that Andrew Wiggins is there, is really going to help this roster and is really going to help this team win another championship, no doubt about it. The fourth thing the Golden State Warriors must do is find a way to keep Draymond Green. Now, I know a lot of people may have stuff to say about Draymond Green. However, I think he is honestly a great player. It may not show up in the stat sheet, but what he does on and off the court is very important for this team, and it really does provide a lot when it comes to, how they are able to win a lot of NBA championships. Draymond is a great defender, and like I've said before, obviously those numbers don't show up in the stats. Last season, he averaged 7.5 points, 7.3 rebounds, and 7.0 assists. So he almost pretty much had a triple-double, which was really, really good. Obviously, his field goal percentage is very high at 52%, so he's a very efficient scorer when he needs to. But obviously, Draymond Green has said it time and time again. He just wants to lead the team in other ways. He's not interested in scoring, especially when you have Steph, Klay, and now even Andrew Wiggins in that mixture. So Draymond, obviously he is asking for a max contract, which is really, really hard to give to someone that is getting older as time goes on, especially with younger players coming into the roster. He stands at 6'6", 230 pounds. Now, obviously, Golden State Warriors, it does seem like they don't want to offer him that max contract. It's still up in the air whether they will, but I think they should do whatever it takes in order to get Draymond Green back. Now, Draymond Green has said time and time again in interviews saying that if he's not offered the max contract, he will actually go somewhere else. Now, I don't know whether he is serious though. I honestly do feel that Draymond Green wouldn't want to play with anyone else besides Steph or Klay, despite the fact that they've, built something so great over there, and they've been together pretty much their whole career. So I don't really see Draymond Green just leaving just based off not getting a max contract. I think it's more of a kind of push to have Golden State Warriors give him the max contract so he has a vendetta if he doesn't, which is definitely leaving the team. But I honestly don't think, even if Draymond Green got offered a little bit more than what he was expected, I think Draymond Green would rather accept it than move to another team where he probably isn't going to win another NBA championship if he decides decides to leave the Warriors. So, it will be interesting to see how this whole conundrum does play out throughout this season, because this season is obviously, his last season contractually, and then he'll probably maybe demand for a trade, before the trade deadline, or, we may see some contract extension. So it will be interesting to see how this plays out, but I think Draymond Green is very vital for this team, and they should definitely keep him on if they are able to. The fifth thing the Golden State Warriors must do is continue to develop the younger players. Now, as you all know, there are a lot of younger players that are coming in the Golden State Warriors team. It isn't the same team from 5 to 6 years ago, guys. They honestly have such a new roster, and I think it is honestly fantastic. Now, they aren't young, but I think continuing to develop Andrew Wiggins, Kevon Looney, all these players I think are really important. Even Jordan Poole now in that conversation, since he's had a couple of years in the NBA. It is very, very important because they are hitting their peak years, and you want to have them being, at their best, along with Draymond, Klay, and Steph as they continue to get older, but you still want them to play very well. So obviously, Steph, Klay, Draymond, they can use the help from these younger players time and time again as, the days go by, and I think developing the younger players is very important. Now, you also have new players coming in, such as, Patrick Baldwin Jr., who I absolutely love. You also have Mac McClung, just to name a few. Jordan Poole, Dante DiVincenzo, he isn't young, but he is still a very young player, and I think he can still develop and become better. When it comes to Draymond, Steph, and Klay, they are pretty much at their peak, and it probably is only going to diminish from here, but I do still think they have 3 or 4 years left before we see any, drop in their actual ability. So, the younger players, as they are on their come up and they're reaching their peak, I think developing them will honestly help this team go further and also make them so dangerous. Being a 15 roster deep squad is very, very important. So guys, let me know down in the comments what you think. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I also did want to say we reached 10,000 subscribers, so thanks for that. And yeah, guys, I'll see you soon. Peace.